Hey guys, what's going on? Scott here at the First Channel, just coming at you with another video. And today we're doing some more wrestling. We're doing some WWE action, and we got the one that I was talking about. There was a pre-order from Target. Crazy shenanigans on all that. Had 2 pre-orders, didn't get them. They canceled them. Then I tried to reorder it, and that was at that point I was like, I'm not paying it. And then I went back to try to get them again, and they were listed for $24.99 or something like that. And I was like, oh my, that's nice. So I guess they were having some kind of sale or whatever at the time. So I tried pre-ordering it, and they were sold out on shipping and everything. They pick up, shipping, and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, dang it. So I kind of gave up. I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to get Hacksaw Jim Duggan anytime soon. And just so happened, I went into a Target, and they're doing their remodel, and I went back there. They had a bunch of stuff. They had the King Randor from the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection. They had quite a few of them, so that's one I want to pick up. I was kind of wondering if maybe I should wait, if maybe they might go down. And they had that sketch art Skeletor, which that was one I was wanting too. Well, I was wanting it. In my mind, I had a different look for that Skeletor, and when I saw it, I was kind of like, I don't know if that's quite what I was thinking, but if it does go down, I might get that, and definitely that King Randor. But they had like a bunch of Hacksaw Jim Duggans on the freaking peg. I was like, what? This makes no sense. I was like, I just don't get Target and their pre-orders and all that stuff. So enough of all that. Let's get the box out and check it out, guys. All right, and here we are with the box, and it's our usual Ultimate. We got Hacksaw Jim Duggan Ultimate Edition. Lots of goodies with this. We got 2 pairs of hands, shirt, 2 2x4s, the figure, the American flag, the freaking crown, whatever you want to call it, hat, crown, whatever, 3 heads. So it would be nice to have another one, but this was full price, so I can't do it. I know I've been saying, well, I'm cutting back, I'm going to cut back. Well, whenever I saw this one, I really was like, this is one of the wrestlers that I really want. Like, there's nothing else out that I really want. They even had that re-release Elites of The Rock and some other guys. But The Rock was one that I kind of wanted too. But I was like, I don't need it. I got enough Rocks. I don't have any Hacksaw Jim Duggans. So that's a reason with myself. I was like, okay, I got to get it. So, of course I did. And on the back, it says Hacksaw Jim Duggan with some old picture and a picture of the figure. It says height 6'3", Glen Falls, New York. Finisher, the 3-point stance clothesline. Career highlights, WCW champion, WCW United States champion, and a Hall of Fame inductee. When Hacksaw Jim Duggan rises the stars and the stripes with Old Glory above his head on his way to the ring, you better believe he is ready to beat his opponent up with a heart full of patriotism. If things get out of hand, his trusty old 2x4 is always within reach. Tough guy. Hoo or ho. I think it's ho. I can't do how he does it, but I'm not going to scream in my garage here and the neighbors wondering what is going on over there. So anyways, that's pretty much it on that. That's funny. Like, back when I was a kid, I loved Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and I loved the fact that he always had the 2x4. And I remember I was always worried that someone was going to get hit with the 2x4. I was like, really in my mind, I was like, that's going to really hurt somebody. So, but anyways, and also being a kid and not very bright about the worldly things going on, but whenever he that we talked about his 2x4, I always liked the sound of saying 2x4 when I was a kid. So when I would say goofy things that kids say, I would like call people like 2x4 head. And I remember my uncle would always be like, how are you having that 2x4 head? I was like, I don't know. He's like, you know what a 2x4 is? And then I'm like, didn't know what to say. So anyways, that's how a kid's mind works. So I was calling everybody 2x4 head. It just rolled off the tongue all the time. But my uncle would always call me out on it, saying that doesn't make any sense. So funny times. But anyways, enough story time from back in the day with old Scott. Let's pop this sucker open and check it out. All right, and we have Hacksaw Jim Duggan out of the box, and the figure looks pretty good. It's feeling pretty good so far. The the face sculpt that comes on it in the case is a very stern face, not smiling or doing anything. I don't think I'll be using that face sculpt on there, so I don't really like that one that much. And it's the usual Ultimate stuff. I think maybe, well, I don't know. I was thinking maybe he could have been a little bit thicker in the midsection, but I think this might work. The legs might be a little skinnier. It does have the pin legs, which I've been complaining about that. His knee pads don't obstruct too bad on this one. I know the last wrestling figures we kind of had some issues. And the way the straps are on the back, I feel like if you bend those too much, those are going to end up breaking eventually, maybe. And trying to bend it, that's about as far back as it can go with those knee pads. And I think if I went any further, I might take a chance of pinching, and maybe breaking that. We got our toe bend. Blue boots looking good as usual, and all the Ultimate articulation there, moving really nice. Still can't go backwards, can do the splits and all that kind of stuff, but cannot go backwards. And they are drop downs on these. I have in the past had some Ultimates with the drop down where they're they just don't function very well. So, but that being said, we got the crown. See if it goes on just any head. And it, let's see, nope, and kind of, it'll kind of sit on the side of the head on this one pretty well. This is just the regular smiling face, so that one, it did sit on there, and it's still kind of loosey-goosey. And that one kind of goes on there too. It doesn't go all the way down, so not too big of a deal. Then we got our screaming head here. And then we got the silly one with his tongue hanging out. And we got our 2x4 with, it says USA on it. And then you got another one that's just blank. So these are pretty pliable. And then he's got his shirt. So I don't know, I'm kind of wondering if I should have the shirt on him on the shelf. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So I was kind of wishing I could get another one of these, but I think they also are doing a elite release of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, I think. I know I've been, like on my last video too, I was talking about an Ultimate of somebody, I think Booker T or something. I forgot who it was I was talking about, but I was like, I don't know if they really are doing it or not. I'm like, am I dreaming this stuff up, or did I really hear it somewhere? I'm thinking maybe I really did hear it somewhere. I don't know. So, but that's with his shirt on. Goes on pretty easy peasy. Hands wise, we got some slapping hands, some fist. We got our thumbs up for our Hacksaw Jim Duggan, which those do come in handy. And then also comes with an American flag, which this will be perfect for him to walk down like this. And maybe even holding the 2x4 in the other hand and having the screaming head. I wonder if this will fit on the screaming head. It kind of, if you force it, I feel like the little crown is going to pop off though eventually, because it is pretty tight, and I guess temperature wise, this thing, I got a feeling it could just go bloop, because I like barely touched it and it fell off. So, but yeah, that's kind of it with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Pretty cool. Just be careful whenever you try to pull the flag out. You do have to like pull all the plastic off, because it is sealed in there pretty good on the back side. So, but yeah, that's kind of it. I give this one, I must say, I got to think about it for a second. My scoring system was a little crummy on the past two videos. But I think for wrestling wise though, I think with this Hacksaw Jim Duggan, there's not really too many negatives on it, except for maybe the crown doesn't fit and you got pins in the knees. But as long as they're not too loosey-goosey and too wobbly, and the knee pads kind of help out a little bit, we'll go with a 4.8, not a 5.0. But I'm really glad to have Hacksaw Jim Duggan to put up on the shelf. I know they've probably told this story before, but when I was a kid, some wrestlers were going to the mall, and I think it was either Bryan or Benton, Arkansas. I can't remember which one it was. And I was a big Hacksaw fan, and my mom had told me about it and said she would take me and to get a signature or something. And all I had was a little notepad and stuff, and I was going to get a signature, which looking back now is a little bit silly. It'd been cool to have a picture. I don't know if they had pictures or if they even did that back then, where they show up with their pictures. You know, if you go to conventions or if you go to an actual wrestling match, some of the wrestlers will be sitting out doing photographs or signings and stuff like that. So I don't remember if they did that, but I do remember seeing them and thinking they were so big, and I was too scared. So I did not get my signature, and that is what it is. But I do still remember it. It's a core memory that hasn't left because my mom never even talked about it after that. So I'm pretty sure that that story's always been in my head. So, and also I don't know if it was the same time whenever I was going to go get the signatures. I remember seeing He-Man and Skeletor was at the mall too. It was some guys in full rubber costumes. I'm sure they were burning up. It had to have been awful. So, but anyways, that's it, guys. If you could just comment down below, were you able to get your Hacksaw Jim Duggan? Did they mess up your pre-orders or anything like that? If so, just comment down below, and if you could, like and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff, so maybe we can bump our channel up a little bit and get a few more views and get some action going on. So, but anyways, y'all have a good one. Later.
You can feel it, dude! You can feel it! Load the spaceship with the rocket fuel! Load it with the word!